There is one simple thing you do every single day, something so ordinary you have never once stopped to think about it, and there is a very good chance you have been doing it wrong your entire adult life. That thing is drinking water. And for a man over 60, learning to do it correctly could quietly transform your circulation, your energy, your mental sharpness, and even your performance in ways that will genuinely surprise you. Most men have absolutely no idea that the way they hydrate, when they drink, how they drink, what they drink it with, and even the temperature of the water has a direct and powerful effect on how well their blood flows through their body. Today, I am going to give you a simple water trick that every older man should know, and by the time we are finished, you will understand why this humble glass of water may matter more for your vitality than almost any expensive supplement sitting on your shelf. My name is Dr. Christian Marvin, and for more than a decade, I have had the honest, direct conversations about men's health that most doctors are simply too rushed or too uncomfortable to have. And one of the things I have learned is that the simplest, cheapest, most overlooked habits are often the ones that change a man's life the most. Before we begin, I want to ask you for one small thing, and it truly matters to me. If you believe older men deserve honest, practical health information without the shame and without the sales pitch, then hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and drop a comment telling me your age. Just your age. I read every single comment myself, and it tells me exactly who these conversations are reaching. Now let me explain why water, of all things, is the trick that almost nobody talks about. Your blood is more than half water. Think about that for a moment. The very fluid that carries oxygen and nutrients to every organ, every muscle, and every extremity of your body is mostly water. So what do you think happens when you become even slightly dehydrated? Your blood literally becomes thicker. It becomes more concentrated, more viscous, harder to move, and thicker blood is harder for your heart to push. It moves more slowly through your arteries. It delivers less oxygen to your brain, your muscles, your hands, your feet, and every part of you that depends on strong circulation. Your heart has to work harder just to move sludgier blood through narrower, stiffer vessels. This is the hidden reason that mild dehydration in older men shows up as fatigue that sleep does not fix, as brain fog and forgetfulness, as dizziness when you stand up too fast, as cold hands and cold feet, and as weaker circulation in every place it counts. And here is the cruelest part of all, the part that makes this a silent problem. As you get older, your sense of thirst fades. It genuinely does. The thirst signal that kept you well hydrated as a young man becomes quieter and less reliable with each passing decade. So millions of older men drift into a state of chronic mild dehydration and never even feel thirsty. They just slowly feel worse, more tired, more foggy, more sluggish, and they shrug and call it getting old. But it is not simply getting old. In many cases, it is a man whose blood has quietly turned to sludge because his body stopped reminding him to drink. Now here's the trick, and it has three parts, and each part matters. The first part is the morning. This is the single most important moment of your entire hydration day, and almost no man gets it right. The moment you wake up, before your coffee, before your breakfast, before anything else, drink a full glass of water at room temperature. Here is why this matters so much. You have just spent 7 or 8 hours asleep without a single drop of water, breathing out moisture the entire time. When you wake up, your blood is at its very thickest and most concentrated of the entire day. And this is exactly the time of morning when heart attacks and strokes are statistically most common, because that thick morning blood is straining a cardiovascular system that is also waking up and ramping up. That first full glass of water thins your blood out, gets your circulation moving, and eases the strain right at the most vulnerable hour. But notice I said room temperature, not ice cold. This detail matters. Ice cold water causes your blood vessels to constrict, to tighten and narrow, which is the exact opposite of what you want when you are trying to improve blood flow. Room temperature or slightly warm water is gentler, and it lets your vessels stay relaxed and open, so that first glass should be room temperature, sipped calmly, first thing, every single morning. The second part of the trick is how you drink through the rest of the day. Most men, when they finally realize they are thirsty, gulp down a huge amount of water all at once. But here's the problem. When you flood your system with a large volume all at once, your body cannot use most of it, and much of it simply passes straight through you within the hour. You end up running to the bathroom and not much better hydrated. The far better approach is steady, consistent sipping throughout the entire day. A little at a time, regularly, keeps your blood volume stable and your vessels consistently supported hour after hour, instead of a flood followed by a drought. Keep a glass or a bottle nearby and sip it slowly. Consistency beats volume every time. The third part of the trick is the one that turns plain water into a genuine circulation tool, and it is my favorite. Add a small pinch of natural mineral salt and a squeeze of fresh lemon to one or two of your glasses each day. Now, I know that some of you have been told your whole life that all salt is the enemy. And if you have high blood pressure or a heart condition, you absolutely must talk to your doctor about this first. But for many men, the issue is not too much salt. It is that plain water without any minerals actually struggles to stay in your system. The minerals, the electrolytes, are what allow your body to actually hold on to the water and carry it into your cells where it does its work. A tiny pinch of quality mineral salt and a little lemon helps your body absorb and retain the water instead of just flushing it away. And here is where it connects to everything. When your body is properly hydrated and mineralized, the entire system that keeps your arteries open works better. Because remember, your blood vessels are lined with a delicate tissue called the endothelium, and that lining produces a molecule called nitric oxide, the master signal that tells your arteries to relax and open so blood can flow. That whole system depends on you being well hydrated. Dehydration handicaps it, proper hydration supports it. And if you want to feed the nitric oxide system directly, lean on the natural nitrates found in leafy green vegetables and beets, which your body converts along that same pathway. So the humble glass of water, done right, is not just quenching your thirst, it is directly supporting the machinery of your circulation. Let me tell you about a patient because I want you to see how powerful this simple thing really is. I will call him Frank. Frank was 72 years old when he came to see me, and he was convinced his best days were far behind him. He was tired all the time, foggy in the head, low energy, and he told me he just felt like he was slowly winding down. When I asked him what he drank in a typical day, he thought about it and said, well, coffee in the morning, coffee after lunch, and maybe a little water with dinner. That was it. This man was walking around in a state of chronic dehydration, his blood thick as syrup, and he had no idea because he was never thirsty. So we changed one single thing, not his diet, not his medications, just his hydration. A full glass of room temperature water first thing every morning. Steady sipping through the day. A pinch of mineral salt and lemon in a glass or two. And within just a few weeks, Frank came back and told me his head was clearer than it had been in years. His energy was steadier, and he simply felt more alive and more present. One boring, free, unglamorous change. That is how powerful correct hydration is for an older man whose blood has quietly thickened over the years. Now let me warn you about some mistakes, because I want you to get this exactly right. The first mistake is thinking that coffee, tea, and soda count as hydration. Coffee and tea are mild diuretics, which means they can actually make you lose water, and sugary sodas come with their own set of problems for your blood vessels and your blood sugar. Water is water. Nothing replaces it. The second mistake is drinking almost nothing all day and then trying to catch up by drinking a huge amount right before bed. This just floods your system at the wrong time and has you up 3 times in the night to urinate, wrecking the deep sleep that your blood vessels need for their overnight repair. Front load your hydration earlier in the day, taper it in the evening, and protect your sleep. The third mistake is ice cold everything. I know cold water feels refreshing, but if your goal is open, relaxed, flowing blood vessels, room temperature, and warm water are your friends. Let me give you one more story because I want you to know Frank was not a fluke. I will call him George. George was 68, a proud and stubborn man, and when I first suggested that his exhaustion and his cold hands might be partly a hydration problem, he actually laughed at me. He said, "Doc, I have been drinking water my whole life. I think I know how to drink water." But he agreed to try the morning glass and the steady sipping for 1 month, mostly to prove me wrong. A month later, he came back a little humbled and a lot better. His hands were warmer, his afternoon crash was gone, and he admitted, almost reluctantly, that he had not realized how badly he had been running on empty. Sometimes the simplest thing really is the thing that was missing. Let me give you a way to actually know whether you are dehydrated, because most older men genuinely cannot tell anymore, since their thirst signal has faded. Look at the color of your urine. It should be a pale, light straw color. If it is consistently dark yellow or amber, that is one of the clearest signs that your blood is running thicker than it should. Notice how you feel when you stand up. If you get lightheaded or dizzy rising from a chair or your bed, that is often a sign of low blood volume from dehydration. Pinch the skin on the back of your hand. In a well-hydrated man, it snaps back quickly. In a dehydrated man, it settles back slowly. Pay attention to persistent afternoon fatigue, to headaches that come from nowhere, to dry mouth, to muscle cramps, especially at night, and to a foggy, slow feeling in your thinking. These are not always just aging. Very often, they are your body waving a flag that it is running low on the most basic thing it needs. Now, let me answer the question every man asks me. How much water should I actually drink? There is no single magic number, and any man who gives you an exact ounce count for everyone is guessing. But a reasonable, gentle target for most older men is somewhere in the range of 6 to 8 glasses spread across the day, adjusted for your size, your activity, the heat, and importantly, any medical conditions or medications your doctor is managing. If you take diuretics, if you have heart or kidney conditions, you must let your doctor guide the exact amount, because for you, more is not automatically better. The point is not to drown yourself. The point is steady, consistent, gentle hydration that keeps your blood flowing freely instead of letting it thicken and stall. Let me also remind you that you do not get all your water from a glass. Many whole foods are rich in water and in the minerals that help you use it. Cucumbers, celery, lettuce, tomatoes, watermelon, oranges, and berries are full of water and nutrients. A man who eats plenty of fresh vegetables and fruit is hydrating himself with every bite and feeding his blood vessels at the same time. This is one more reason that a plate built around real, whole, colorful foods is quietly one of the best things you can do for your circulation. There is another layer here that most men never consider, and it is the connection between hydration and your kidneys. Your kidneys are the master filters of your entire bloodstream, cleaning your blood around the clock. When you are chronically dehydrated, your kidneys struggle to do their job, waste builds up, and your whole system runs dirtier and more sluggish. Proper hydration is what allows your kidneys to keep your blood clean and flowing. And clean, thin, well-filtered blood moves more easily through those precious vessels than thick, concentrated, waste-heavy blood ever could. So when you drink that morning glass, you are not just helping your heart, you are helping the very organs that keep your bloodstream pure. Let me give you one more story because I want this to sink in. I will call him Arthur. Arthur was 76 years old, and he came to me mostly worried about his memory. He was forgetful, foggy, and frightened that something serious was happening to his mind. We looked at everything, and among other things, it turned out this man was profoundly, chronically dehydrated. He drank almost nothing but a little coffee. Now, I'm not going to tell you that water cured everything, because his situation had several pieces. But when we restored proper hydration, along with the other changes his doctor and I worked on, Arthur told me that the fog over his mind lifted more than he expected. He felt sharper, steadier, and more like himself. Your brain is one of the thirstiest organs in your entire body, and it depends completely on strong blood flow to stay clear. Dehydration starves it, hydration feeds it. A well-watered brain in a well-hydrated body simply works better, and Arthur felt that difference in the place he was most afraid of losing. Now think about how much of your life comes back to this one thing. Your heart moving blood, your brain staying clear, your muscles staying strong, your kidneys staying clean, your hands and feet staying warm, your vessels staying open. Every single one of those depends, at the most basic level, on whether the fluid carrying everything is thin and flowing or thick and stalling. That is why I tell my patients that hydration is not a small thing. It is one of the largest small things in all of medicine. Now, I am going to be completely honest with you man to man because you deserve the whole truth and not just the comfortable part of it. Proper hydration is foundational. It supports your blood flow, it supports your energy, and it supports the entire nitric oxide system we have been talking about. But I am not going to tell you that water alone fixes everything. Because if your circulation problems have already progressed to the point where they are affecting your confidence and your performance in the bedroom, where intimacy has become a quiet source of worry instead of a source of connection and joy, then there is a deeper root cause underneath all of it. A specific underlying reason that your blood flow and your nitric oxide system have been pushed into the wrong gear. And that root cause is something most doctors never explain to their patients, not out of cruelty, but because they simply do not have the time or the training to have this conversation properly. The very good news is that once you understand that true underlying cause, it can be supported and improved naturally. You do not have to just accept it as your fate, and you do not have to just reach for a little blue pill that masks the problem for an hour while doing nothing for the cause. I have placed a free 2-minute video right below this one in the description that reveals that true underlying cause of erection and blood flow problems in older men and the simple natural approach that begins to reverse it. If your circulation and your vitality genuinely matter to you, and I believe they do, then watch that 2-minute video the very moment this one ends. It is short, it is clear, and it may honestly be the most important 2 minutes you spend on your health this entire year. So let me give you your simple plan starting tomorrow morning. Step 1. The moment you wake up, before coffee, before anything, drink 1 full glass of room temperature water. Step 2. Sip steadily and consistently through the day instead of gulping large amounts all at once. Step 3. Add a small pinch of quality mineral salt and a squeeze of lemon to a glass or two after checking with your doctor if you have blood pressure or heart concerns, so your body actually holds and uses the water. Step 4. Lean on real, whole foods, especially leafy greens and beets, to feed the nitric oxide system directly. Step 5. Front load your water earlier in the day and taper in the evening, so you protect the deep sleep where your blood vessels repair themselves. Simple, cheap, boring, and far more powerful than most men will ever believe. You are not too old for your blood to run strong, clean, and warm again. Your body has not quit on you. It is still adapting, still responding, still capable of far more than you have been told. It has simply been quietly begging you for the one thing you never realized it was missing. Give it the water and give it correctly. If this video helped you, if something finally made sense, leave me one word in the comments below. Just one word. Alive. So I know it reached you. Subscribe for more of these honest conversations. Share this with a man in your life who needs to hear it. And never forget the truest thing I know after all these years of this work. Your age does not decide your vitality. Your awareness does. This is Dr. Christian Marvin. Stay strong, stay present, and take care of yourself, all of yourself. And I will see you in the next one.